Fear. Gamer fear.
Gamers, rise up.
Oh my god.
Take a drink.
Drink it. Welcome to the very special episode 6 of
the Fear Podcast Game of the Year edition.
Oh god. For this episode, we so by the time I upload this, it's gonna be probably a while after my 21st birthday.
It's been we did this episode because Coleman was turning 21, and we thought it would be hilarious if for the movie Gamer, starring Gerard Butler and Logan Lerman from the year 2009, we did a video game based drinking game.
Yes, so that's the main. This week, this month, however often we're uploading, you can see these two DVD kits. We've got a special stuck look here. We watched 3 video game related movies: Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, Double Dragon, and I was gonna pick up the
Gamer 2009.
But you wouldn't be able to see the screen anyway. Gamer 2009. Gamer. Do we want to just dive right into Gamer?
Let's get the Wikipedia description.
Yes, we did a drinking game for all of you. We were going to watch the
hang on. I have the rules right here.
Yes. We were going to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie, but
for some
it's just
reason,
not on any streaming services.
It's almost as if they know it's bad and they're trying to hide it from
Nintendo
us.
is like, keep this off. It's a Super Mario Bros. Movie coming to Nintendo Switch Online exclusive film.
Alright, here were the drinking rules. Take a drink every time someone says gamer.
Gamer.
Take a drink every time someone says society.
Oh boy. This was a rough one.
Take down your drink if someone says we live in a society.
We'll get to what happened with that.
Down your drink if someone says gamers rise up. Down your drink if in the Super Mario movie someone says, I'm sorry but your princess is in another castle.
Well, we weren't able to do that.
We weren't able to do that.
The Mario movie.
Take a drink if someone says Super Mario. Take a drink if someone makes a joke about Lara Croft's breasts. Down your drink if the words "game over" appear in the credits. And then we added some rules. We added some rules to the Tomb Raider one.
We ended up just kind of doing down your drink if game over appears at all, basically.
Down your drink, and then we did take a drink every time something cringy or video game like happens.
That was in Tomb
Raider. Take a drink every time there's just Laura's naked.
Or like gratuitous shots.
Or there's gratuitous shots of her body. Take a drink every time there's daddy issues.
Yeah, and by the time we got to Double Dragon, we were just like,
we were completely
just drink whenever we want.
Yeah. The only rule we made for Double Dragon, because we had to kind of scramble to find another movie to watch, was down your drink if the dragon shows
Double
up.
Dragon was the replacement. We originally were going to watch Gamer, Super Mario Bros. And Tomb Raider.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of.
I feel like
Double Dragon. Double Dragon fits the oeuvre of this.
It's very much. It definitely has that early '90s video game oeuvre.
Yeah. Oh God.
So let's start.
Okay, hold up. I'm looking at the Tomb Raider. First off, the fact that you have a steelbook of Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider is incredibly cursed. But also, I was just looking at the back of it where it says, "This is where I start to have fun." Like, this is where I start to have fun. Cringe.
Angelina Jolie.
Epic Angelina Jolie gamer moment.
Angelina Jolie chugs the G Fuel and enters Smash Bros.
Oh my God, she gets to fight Steve now.
She gets to fight Steve.
Okay, hold up. Remember the video that I uploaded? If you subscribe to this channel, that was us reacting to.
Which you should. You should follow. You should subscribe to this channel.
I would hope they're subscribed.
No, wait, Coolman, huh?
No, okay. I'm actually. I suppose this is as bad. I'm gonna do some rebranding. I think I'm just gonna rename the main channel Chuck Batman, And then Chuck Batman 5 is the gamer.
The gamer edition.
The gamer channel. Because I've been.
This is the channel where we're going to talk about society.
Oh my god.
And the other channel is where you're going to talk about being a gamer.
Okay. Let's begin.
You'll understand
this
that.
This is where I start to have fun.
Alright. Let's start with gamer.
Gamer. I'll just edit in that video of me vlogging.
Gamer is a 2009 American science fiction action film written and directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor.
The film stars Gerard Butler as a participant in an online game in which participants can control human beings as players, and Logan Lerman as the player who controls them. So Logan Lerman is like this teenage gamer playing Gerard Butler's character.
Alongside Butler and Lerman, it also stars Michael C. Hall, Ludacris, Amber Valletta, Terry Crews, Allison Lowe. Is that Allison Lerman?
Who cares? That's
Allison
not a
Lerman.
name I know.
Other people.
John Leguizamo of which we were going to be able to have some synergy where he's in 2 of the movie.
We were hoping he was going to show up in Tomb Raider as well, but he never did. At least not that I can.
Why do I keep drinking water?
Gamer was released in November in North America and September 4th, 2009. It received generally negative reviews from the critics who found the plot, direction, the script disappointing, though its performance, effects, and action sequences were praised. That's bad. That's wrong.
Yeah.
The performances, the effects, and the action sequences were terrible.
The performances were fine, but the effects and action sequences were fucking awful.
It received a mixed reception from audiences, and that was a box office grossing of $43 million.
Did any of these movies... I think Tomb Raider is the only one of these movies that actually made its money back at the box office.
Double Dragon had a budget of like $5 million.
And it didn't make the money back.
It didn't make it back.
Tomb Raider had the highest budget of the 3. But it was the one that made the money back. I guess that's the star power of 2001 Angelina Jolie.
Starring as Mrs. Lara Croft Tomb Raider herself.
We're getting really tangenty. Gamer.
By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at @p_captain_.
Intro.
Kirk is spelled Captain is spelled with a K, and you can follow him here.
And also on Instagram, Chuck Batman 5, other YouTube channel, Chuck Batman.
We forgot to do our intro.
We're not drunk right now, but
we're not drunk.
We're acting like it.
We're not drunk, but we're not drunk, but we're still like mentally drunk.
Right.
You know?
This movie. So we watched Gamer one night, and then the following night we watched the other 2.
That was a smart choice. We would have died if we watched all 3
that's what
movies
Gamer had enough drinking to like match the other 2 movies combined, just because of the. You know what? Let's just dive right in.
Let's just dive right in. Okay, so let me give you a better brief synopsis of what this movie is actually like.
Yeah.
Have you seen Running Man? It's Running Man.
Just checking to see how long we've been going. Keep talking. 8 minutes. Keep talking.
All right. It's Running Man. It stars a criminal who was wrongly convicted, having to earn his freedom by competing in death tournaments.
The thing is, these death tournaments are controlled like it's basically an.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
Yeah.
Actually, no. If you die in the game, someone else dies for real.
Oh my gosh. So the reason this one was a real doozy is so for one thing, let's just get it out of the way with the opening scene because this made it immediately obvious. The editing is horrible. Shaky cam galore. Confusing cuts. Jarring like visual edits where they have like a bunch of stutter and lag effects. Yeah. Haphazard pacing. Any scene with
loud noises.
Any scene with like fast movement is like motion sickness inducing.
It's kind of hilarious how like arguably like the directing got better over each film.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Gamer probably had like. Let's just put it this way: this movie was so poorly edited together that it took a plot that wasn't that complicated and made it too complicated to understand.
It replicated all the worst aspects of video games.
Yeah, it was like watching like really...
It's like watching a really badly compressed Twitch streamer whose video is constantly pinging all over the place and stuttering.
Oh, ping is a major plot point in this movie, by the way.
There was at least one gamer in this writing room.
Yes.
I don't know which one it was, but one of them is a gamer.
Yeah, production divide. This is...
Who cares?
Wait, hold on. In March 2009, the film's working title was changed from Game to Citizen Game. I really wish it was called Citizen Game.
I wish it was called Citizen Gamer.
This is the Citizen Game of Kane. This is the Citizen Kane of gaming movies.
Oh my god, the sad thing is, it kind of is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not good, but so are many other, oh my god, Gamer, and then they finally named it Gamer. The crew used special handheld cameras, that makes sense.
Like they did in all of the movies at the time.
Yeah, so it's just like shaky cam, obnoxious, like, and then we get to what really caused the drinking game to start. So first we have the
very first line of dialogue is a teabag reference.
Yeah, to give you immediately dating the movie. But then we cut to like this news segment. They're talking on the news. So I'd like to preface this by saying that within the story of this movie, Ken Castle, this super billionaire, created the game Slayers, which is the first-person shooter game
where you kill people.
But he's basically think the guy who made the Oasis and Ready Player One, but like overtly evil.
Yeah. It's what happens when you take Ready Player One, Venom, and Joker and throw it into a blender.
Oh god. With a few razor blades.
Stick some razor blades in there.
But
pour some G Fuel in.
But the reason I bring this up is that it's important to note that he also created a virtual community life simulation game, basically the Oasis.
It's basically the Sims or the Oasis,
which is titled
Society. And the very first line,
the very first line referencing this game is "We live in society." We're like 5 minutes into the movie. My drink's still like full. I'm like, it's fine.
We had just poured these, and we had to down them. And then immediately he said "society" five times in a row.
Because they were explaining what the virtual.
I have a tally here. I don't know when we did these, but there were.
Oh yeah, because you gave up on this tally pretty quick.
There were at least 2 times within, I guess, like the first 30 minutes when we had to down our drinks.
One was a game over, and one was.
And at least 8 times when we had to take a drink.
That was just the first 30 minutes before you stopped caring enough to keep tabs.
Yeah.
I will say the drinking was very front-loaded. Like there was more stuff to trigger our drinking in the first 30 minutes than the rest of the movie.
Combined.
Yeah. But it's just like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure, maybe they'll say "we live in society" at some point. And then it's just like one of the first lines in the movie. I'm like, oh my god. Gamer.
We were in for a rough start.
We live in a society.
Also, like... Cable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Cable.
The main character?
Do you know John Army Man?
That's has strong John Army Man energy.
Okay, no, that's not fair. He actually makes John Army Man look interesting.
Okay, this was Gerard Butler, but my brain is just kind of
This was Gerard Butler playing generic tough guy.
I also feel like Gerard Butler is kind of a poor man's Russell Crowe, at least in this scenario.
At least in this scenario, definitely.
Like in this scenario, I'm like, this guy...
They wanted Russell Crowe, but he was too busy filming Robin Hood.
Right. I was just going to say that this performance carries the same, like, annoying, edgy energy as...
It's even got a very similar color palette.
Yeah.
You can tell me these movies take place in the same
one is
universe,
in the distant future.
and I would believe
Honestly,
you.
the villain also has like...
No, Robin Hood takes place at the exact same time. It's just taking place on a different server.
It's really unclear though, like whether the games whether these simulation games are actually simulations or like physical things happening in a physical location. Then the movie never really explains that.
Because like
you can criticize Ready Player One all you want, but at least it explains that properly.
Yeah. This movie, weirdly enough, feels like both a more well thought out and yet way less competently made Ready Player One.
Yeah. Give Spielberg this movie, and it maybe would be better than Ready Player One.
Yeah. It might actually be something close to a good movie.
But like clearly nobody close to Spielberg talent level was editing or
Spielberg, this ain't.
Yeah, it ain't Spielberg. So yeah, Cable is the gamer. I don't know. Going over the plot is gonna give me an aneurysm again. Basically, there's a again. Why did I say again?
So at some point, Logan Lerman's character is like this top level super.
He's an esport. He's ninja.
He's ninja. And he's controlling Cable.
I just remember the other thing we drank a bunch for at the beginning was the first shot of him where he's super pale and like weirdly back.
Oh yeah, we also had a rule that you had to take a drink every time. You had to take a drink
when Logan
Lerman showed up. Which was like in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we were just like chugging in the first half hour, and then we like cooled down after that.
It was
interesting. Like I couldn't. You mixed me a rum and coke first. I literally I could not physically chug. Like that's not a chugging drink.
Should we talk about the drinks that we had?
Oh my god! I mean, not really.
No.
I just gonna say that's not a chugging drink for me. So I was just like, I can't drink as fast as they're saying the word society. Society. Well,
at some point, I had to cut him some slack and like drink for him because it was getting hard to like keep up with all the society.
We need to press play on the movie. We can't pause.
It took us like 30 minutes to get 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, because we had to we mixed a bunch of drinks, started the movie, got like 5 minutes in, and then had to go mix more drinks.
Yeah. Luckily, basically after not after this point, there's a little bit more interesting, but like shortly after the end of the first act, this movie stops being interesting.
Oh yeah, and then it kind of gets interesting.
So Cable's thing is he's like 3 days away from escape.
Was that the thing, or was it like 3 battles away?
3 battles.
I don't remember.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
He's about to get away, but the problem is that he's really, really good at killing people. So they don't want him to get away.
He's also better at killing people than the person playing him in the game. So what happened?
And so
Logan Lerman gets a
and
mod.
also I don't know if this is spoilers, but he was wrongfully convicted.
I mean, no dirt.
He was wrongly convicted of murdering some.
I don't even know
what did the guy even do.
Well, that's maybe the most confusing plot point of the movie.
Like, I think he was this character. I think he might have been the player of the character.
I think it seemed okay.
Well, oh god, what was his name? What was his terrible, cringy name?
Castle, the villain.
No.
Hacker Man.
No.
They all have cringe names.
Something Rape.
Oh, Rick Rape. No, I don't think that had any relevance. I think
they just wanted to have a try-hard, edgy name.
There was so the whole society thing could easily have been cut out of the movie. It's basically just in this underlying subplot where it's basically
just an excuse to show a bunch of titties.
The Oasis from Ready Player One, but it's like a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
So it's like you get all these like weird, uncomfortable interspaced scenes of this extremely fat, like the caricature of like the massive fat gamer in the gamer chair in the dark, and he's playing these avatars that are like fucking each other in the society game, and Cable's wife works in the game as like a prostitute basically.
For a while, I thought she was like the same character as the news anchor.
Yeah, there's a news anchor at the beginning that interviews.
It's not helpful that like 3 of them are like all blonde women who.
Hollywood's tendency to cast the same type of white blonde women in all the roles strikes again.
Yeah.
By the way, Castle is like a cartoon, peak cartoon though.
He's like a cartoon super.
He's doing like a weird like Southern / Boston accent depending on the line, and he does these like crazy hand motions. His first line he's like Slayer.
He gives Jesse Eisenberg playing
Lex Luthor,
Lex Joker Luthor a run for his money.
Yeah, he's just like
he is like so ridiculously over the top.
And so,
why is that a thing where like no matter despite how like relevant it is to society, no movie has ever actually managed to make like a maniacal evil CEO interesting?
Yeah. Well, okay, this guy, they don't even like he's on this talk show at the beginning of the movie and he's going like Tom Cruise jumping on the couch in Oprah weird with it, where he's like, the game and then the gamers, and she's like asking him a couple...
The gamers and the society.
She even asks, is like, some people consider this murder. Do you consider this murder? And I'm like, have you ever heard anyone volunteer to be murdered? And he's like hamming it up and like, stop, he's chewing the scenery on this interview, like, how are you not...
What was our time, by the way?
Like 20 minutes.
All right.
So plot happens.
Happens.
Logan Lerman gets a mod so that he can talk to Gerard Butler.
First, we need to talk about how to get rid of Cable. They hire this real guy.
Oh, okay, but that doesn't happen until after he gets the mod.
No, it happens before.
It happens around the same time.
It happens basically the same time, but the thing is that...
to hire someone to stop Cable from winning the game and getting out.
Terry Crews is hired as... What was his name? Like Hackman, who has no ping because
he's not controlled by anyone.
And then he proves this point by confronting Gerard Butler.
This is one of the peak scenes.
Shirtless in the locker room and singing, "I've got no strings" from Pinocchio. I've got no strings to hold me down.
He does it like that. Very like when he first appeared, he was just grunting at the camera for his first couple scenes.
We thought he wasn't going to have a single line of dialogue.
We thought he was just going to be like...
Boy, oh boy, we're really wrong about that.
We thought they were just wasting Terry Crews, and for the most part, they kind of did waste Terry Crews.
Oh, he's absolutely wasted in this movie.
But they at least gave him one golden scene that only Terry Crews could pull off. Only Terry Crews could go up to the main character and menacingly sing "I've Got No Strings" and have it be both silly and intimidating.
There are no strings on me.
I'd like to make it clear this movie is not really all that ironically enjoyable. 90% of it's boring. It just has a few scenes that are really like ironically funny.
Yeah, and they're all packed in the middle. And
they're all
packed in the beginning and the end.
Yeah, except the I've Got No Strings scene is like at the start of the second act.
Yeah, I feel like I would say the start of the second act is when he escapes.
Yeah, okay, so Logan Lerman gets a mod from a hacker group called Humans with a Z, run by Ludacris. And he gets this mod that allows him to talk.
Oh wait, doesn't Ludacris black man say to the CEO, "You're all just slaves"?
Yeah, he's a weird character.
Oh,
he also hijacks the talk show at the beginning. That's how they introduce him. And then he gives this mod to Logan Lerman that lets Logan Lerman communicate with Gerard Butler. So Gerard Butler's like, I can defeat Hackman, but you gotta free me. You gotta set me free from your control. And so Logan Lerman's like, oh, fine. And so then Gerard Butler's free.
And he just leaves.
He somehow leaves. I don't, like, this is where the movie gets super
It implies that the game where you murder people and the game where people fuck take place in, like, the same city. And that city is also the real world.
Yeah, and that somehow you can get from those locations to where the humans run their operation without ever leaving the game sphere. See, that's like Ready Player One has the same plot structure going on, but because there's a clear delineation between real world and game world, it's like it's followable. This is barely like I was like, okay, what? Like, what? When did he get to the humans? What? How did he get to society? He just kind of starts showing up places and, like, messing with shit. He rescues his wife from the pervy fat gamer man.
And also Ricky Rape or something.
Yeah, there's some character in the simulation named Ricky Rape. I don't know. All the society scenes were extremely tough to watch. Cringe at best and uncomfortable at worst.
Yeah. It was a rough experience.
So then we just get a whole bunch
Although, funny enough, not a lot of drinking during those scenes.
Yeah. So then we get a whole bunch of bad action scenes, and then so I'm like tuned out. I don't care. Then Castle kidnaps Cable. Those names are too confusing.
Okay,
I'm just gonna call him Gerard Butler.
Okay, so it gets revealed that Castle used Cable to kill someone, and that was why he was falsely
Cable was
imprisoned.
arrested.
And for some reason, Castle then decided to adopt Cable's
this
daughter.
Part of the plot is so convoluted. They
try to make this like deep-seated hatred and rivalry between these two characters
who have never met,
and have no reason to hate each other.
And like, so this part was super confusing. The humans like hack into Gerard Butler's memory. Gerard Butler plays Cable. I don't want to call him Cable because if we have Cable and Castle, I'm gonna get confused.
Also, Cable is like a really generic name.
Yeah,
it's literally just an X-Man.
So they hack into his memory and figure out that apparently what he was arrested for was he was used to test out Castle's mind control chip that the gamers use to control people and like use it to kill some guy. I don't know who that guy was. I didn't really understand.
It looks like they were like in like jail. Like
I couldn't tell whether that scene was in the game world or the real world. Really messy. So then they go.
But all of that is okay because it then leads to the scene where Gerard Butler goes to confront Castle in his massive apartment.
And here we have the best scene in the movie where Gerard Butler is coming in. You've perhaps seen a really blurry clip of this if you follow me on Instagram from, a while ago. From my actual birthday, I uploaded the clip. Not now, because I'm so far behind on editing. Yeah. He comes down these stairs. I'm gonna make sure it's...
Yeah.
So we can get the full glory of this. Yeah, okay.
We still got time?
Yes, we have like 2 minutes and then I'll turn it on again. So I'll talk about the minute. Right. Moment. Gamer moment. This is a peak gamer moment right here.
Peak gamer moment.
So Gerard Butler's coming down these stairs to like confront Castle because Castle kidnapped his daughter. And there's like this line of shadowy men and you're like, ooh, this is kind of spooky. What's going on? Then Michael C. Hall, who plays the villain, turns around. He's bent over like this, and he starts snapping his fingers and singing, "I've got you under my skin." And then all the guys around him turn around, and he's mind controlling them to like dance with him. And he keeps singing the song, and then it's like ba-ba, and then shows these clips of the humans being killed, and then he keeps singing, and then all the dudes charge forward and fight Cable while Castle is singing, "I've got you under my skin, so deep in the heart of me," while they're fighting. And for no reason other than epic villain moment.
Villain gamer moment.
And then after that ridiculous scene ends, we get Castle like hamming it up as he reveals his plan. He's like, "I've got nanites and I'm going to release them into the air and then I'll control everyone." Ooh.
And he proves his point by having Terry Crews
be a
basketball player.
And they're on a basketball court now. And he makes Terry Crews like break dance and then has Terry Crews attack Cable.
This is some fun.
And then Cable kills Terry Crews in like 2 seconds. This was supposed to be the guy he couldn't beat before. And then Castle like starts taking control.
We're back, dinosaur story.
Stop making that joke. So So Castle so then he kills Hackman in like 2 seconds, who was supposed to be the guy who could beat, and then
the big bad Hackman.
And then Castle takes control of Gerard Butler's mind and
starts fighting him.
He starts fighting him.
He takes off his shirt.
He takes off his shirt. And he's jacked. And it's the final boss.
This is final boss time.
And then he brings in Gerard Butler's wife and daughter, and is tries to make him kill his own daughter, but then Logan Lerman somehow, the remaining members of Humans somehow, who for some reason the news reporter lady from the beginning is working with the Humans now. I don't that happens about halfway through the movie for no real reason. I guess she just doesn't like Castle.
I guess.
Castle is a total creep. Obviously a total creep. So... And then, they managed to give Logan Lerman control, and then Gerard Butler is able to take out Castle, and then they win, and that's the end.
I want to point out something, it's unrelated to that. This is a really bad poster.
Oh my, yeah, this...
it's a poster
of... Oh shit, it's okay,
yeah.
I just realized that's Logan Lerman's face.
It's still bad.
God, that's I'm gonna put
It's Gerard Butler... It's Gerard Butler's face,
right now,
and then underneath, it's peeling away to show Logan Lerman's face.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it on screen, and I'm gonna save it to pictures right now so I can put it on screen.
It's gloriously terrible, just like this movie. So yeah,
gamer movie JPEG.
Yeah, like you said, Butler kills Castle, but my favorite part of that is after he does so, and Castle's minions go away. Gerard Butler, in a really whiny tone, is guys, can you get rid of the nanites?
I don't remember that.
And then they just do. They just
the
main threat of the movie just gets dealt with in the most nonchalant way possible.
The last 5 minutes. So overall, bad movie.
And then it ends on game over.
Yeah, of course. So overall, bad movie, not worth watching, but also
but also definitely worth watching.
Okay, it's just look up Gamer, I've Got You Under My Skin, and look up Terry Crews singing I've Got No Strings on Me, and you'll have the 2 funniest clips in the movie.
You'll have seen everything worth watching.
I don't know what this movie has a weird. We were talking about this. Somebody in the writer's room was an actual gamer with all the ping stuff and some of that, and then somebody else in the writer's room, or maybe the same person, was weirdly a musical nerd or something. Yeah. Not because there are any songs from musicals specifically,
but it has
just the I've Got No Strings on Me Pinocchio bit,
and then
the dance sequence with I've Got You, and then the fact that they keep using this super edgy version of Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics in
the
very
credits strong Zack Snyder energy.
Yeah, it's got a weird musical sense to it at parts of it. It doesn't have a generic soundtrack like Tomb Raider did. It has a very unique and memorable soundtrack.
Very memorable soundtrack.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you so deep in the heart of me. He's just spins.
It's on that
just
level.
A great script. It's what a great scene.
What a glorious scene.
But the rest of the movie is not that good. All right.
I wish that movie had managed to keep up that manic energy the whole time.
Yeah, we needed more chaotic gamer energy. There just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Not enough chaotic gamer energy.
But you know what? Actually, no, that isn't true. But you know what also didn't have chaotic gamer energy? Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
That's part of the flaw of not watching Super Mario Bros. Is none of these movies, I think Gamer had the most chaotic energy.
Which is sad. I thought that was going to be the most generic.
Yeah. I'm going to get a water bottle refill. You start talking about Tomb Raider.
Alright. So, Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft's Tomb Raider is a movie about the titular character Angelina Jolie, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. It's about her overcoming her daddy issues as she prevents the Illuminati from taking over the world.
Oh my god! Wait,
using...
there's a Tomb Raider 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they made... That movie... This is the only one of these that did well enough to get, like, a sequel.
Zawarudo.
This is also kind of a James Bond movie because Daniel Craig is in it.
It's a secret James Bond movie.
Daniel Craig is in it as like the pseudo love interest of Lara Croft's character,
and so
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and so she has to stop the Illuminati, who is being led by Zemnis.
He's got. It's this generic villain with like
strong Kingdom Hearts energy.
Kingdom Hearts villain, like evil black cloak and
evil black cloak. He talks about how like his heart is dark and he loves doing evil.
And he works for like a sinister cabal of evil like government.
Who all also wear black suits.
That was how they introduced him. I'm like, what?
And
why is the organization
called
13?
the Illuminati?
Yeah, he works for the Illuminati. the artifact of the movie.
He's played by what's his name? He's played by Ian Glenn, who also did stuff I think for Game of Thrones and more famously Resident Evil 3 Extinction. Yeah, the one where Alice has to save the world from a post-apocalypse. Except she fails and it turns into Mad Max.
Okay, I'm looking at this. This movie was a kind of a money scheme. Look at this. It was financed through a German tax shelter.
Of course it was.
And by like it allowed them to take an instant tax deduction that basically allowed them to make $10 million back just by making them like buying the cop.
Oh my god!
So it's like, and then so even if the movie had bombed, they
would have made money off of the terrible bombing, and instead of, but it actually managed to gross a lot of money somehow.
I will say. The one notable good thing about this movie is Angelina Jolie is kind of like
the
perfect pick for the character.
Especially this era of
it's the perfect pick for PS1 era big breasts.
Large breasts.
Like
discount Indiana
face.
Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And I think the new actress was also a good fit for...
Yeah, the actress they got for the newer Tomb Raider.
Innocent waif turned vengeful badass.
That's
like in creepy fetishistic scenarios, Laura.
That's the one thing Tomb Raider movies always get right is casting Lara.
It feels very... And like all Tomb Raider movies, it always feels weirdly voorish and fetishistic.
Voorish?
Voyeuristic.
Voyeuristic. I was like, vor? What? Vor. We're talking about vor now. Did I mention this is the gamer episode?
This is the gamer episode.
Gamers
rise up.
I have already forgotten 90% of this
Okay, so I have also forgotten 90% of this movie. But I'm going to try my best. So it opens on Lara doing a simulated battle.
Yeah, she's fighting like...
Already a great start because it lets you know that this movie doesn't know how to start. So they're just
that thing where they're like, we don't know how to put action at the start, so we're going to put the main character doing a training mission that looks like it's actual action because
it's one of the only times she actually goes tomb raiding in this movie. Did she... Wait, was that even a tomb? What she went into?
Virtual tomb.
No, yes. I mean in the finale.
Oh, at the end? I mean,
it was a temple. It wasn't really a tomb.
Close enough. I'm sure she goes into a boat.
Potato.
Zawarudo.
Anyway, it's revealed that it was all a simulation. Then her butler tries to get her to like act like a lady. She doesn't. She then like goes to her room. There's a shot of her bathing in the. There's a shot of her bathing naked in the shower.
We do not need to go over every minute detail of the first 15 minutes that are just her walking around her house chatting with her bros that hang. Like she has a butler and like a nerdy tech dude bro that lives in a trailer outside her mansion.
Yeah.
For some reason, and like this This is almost like reverse Gamer, where I think the second act is the most interesting act.
Well, it's where the things actually happen.
Yeah. And then the first act is like slow.
Who gives a fuck?
Basically,
so Laura finds out that like her dad left her this like message and this clock that unlocks something.
Like time control.
And
powers.
The Illuminati wants
Illuminati
it. So they trick her into revealing where she lives, so that they can bust in and steal it.
So then
they fail. She realizes that she's been duped, and she follows the Illuminati into Asian country.
I don't know.
Nondescript Asian country.
And then she follows a little girl NPC to where the bad guys are.
Also, in between these parts, she's met Daniel Craig doing his best bad American accent.
Everyone in this movie is British. All the characters are British, except for the British actor. Like Laura, they have all of these British characters. Even Lara Croft say "bugger" all the time. And like
we wanted to start doing a bugger drinking thing.
As soon as we made that a rule, they stopped saying. But it's like. Why? For some reason, they had Daniel Craig being like the only American character, so he's doing like an American accent.
Halfway through, it just starts to feel like he's the main character, and Laura is a side character in his movie.
Well, okay, there's this whole history between her and him that we don't know
anything about.
It feels like the kind of thing that was established in a different movie. Perhaps a James Bond movie that this is like a theoretical spin-off of.
This is the sequel to that one where Denise Richards was basically just playing Lara Croft in James Bond.
Which one was that? I don't know that many of the Craig James Bond.
It's like Samantha and more.
The only ones I really know much about are the only ones I've really like seen anything of are Casino Royale, Spectre, and Skyfall. That's what I was thinking. Skyloft, but that's Skyward. That's the Skyward Sword town.
Okay.
Oh, also this movie has Galactus boss from Skyward Sword in it at one point. And Lara Croft has to fight it, and I'm not going to provide context for that.
Her.
Oh yes.
That's also
why does she looks so much like is that not the same actor that played Lara Croft in the new Lara Croft movie?
No, this is Denise Richards.
Okay, well it might as well be.
This is the girl from the Bond girl from The World Is Not Enough.
The World Is Not Enough.
An archaeologist, aka Discount Lara Croft.
The World Is Not Enough.
So what? This time the JoJo reference actually makes sense because they have finding the MacGuffin gives you the power to stop time.
Yeah, and at the end of the movie, Lara Croft gains the ability to freeze time, slow time for a split second, and she turns a knife back around that was being thrown at Daniel Craig and ends up like stabbing the villain instead. But then for some reason the villain doesn't die from it, so she has to run back and have a hero.
To be fair though. Did Jotaro die when Dio threw knives at him?
Yeah, right. Okay, but no. But Dio's the one who gets stabbed in this. If the villain, what are we even talking about anymore? This movie's boring, and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so
is there anything notable about this movie we need to say anymore? Can we just move on?
It's very horny.
Yeah, I mean that's a given.
It's very early 2000s.
They say there's game over at one point.
There is a game over.
Game over.
I don't know. This movie is the most immediately forgettable of the three.
Yeah. I've already some generic Illuminati stopping plot. The bad guy offers to bring back her father if he can get the answer. She basically spends half the movie working with the bad guy.
It's never really indicated that she's she's going to betray them or she's thinking of a way to betray them. She just helps them get the MacGuffin.
After she follows the little girl NPC into the first temple they visit, she essentially gets herself caught and then is like, oh well, the triangle you have is a fake one.
I know how to do it, but you guys don't.
Yeah, and she's like, the triangle you have is a fake one, except it wasn't a fake one, except it was. I literally could not tell.
I think it was like, it wasn't the real eye, but it unlocked.
Or maybe it wasn't the real eye, it was like half of it. So there's like these pieces of a triangle.
Oh, there was that bit where she jumps on the log and physics
like,
breaks.
Yeah, like momentumizes it.
She's on, there's this pendulum that's trying to hit an object, but it's just out of reach. And so she jumps on the pendulum. So, like, this pendulum is huge. It's like the size, it would be like the length of this room.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge and it's made of like stone or something. So her little buxom archaeologist weight, or whatever she is, historian.
Buxom?
I don't know. I'm still drunk. I'm allowed to be horny.
You want me to get the big old margarita glass?
But her little human weight is not going to be enough.
Like somehow gives this thing the momentum to swing forward.
That's not how physics works.
And then, oh yeah, in that scene there's also a bunch of monkey statues that come to life, and then the Galactos boss from Skyward Sword, she has to fight it because it wakes up and starts grabbing swords and swinging them at her. And then the temple falls apart, and then they go to another temple, and this time she's with the bad guys, and this is the one where they find the time orb or whatever.
They put together the magical Illuminati triangle.
And then she gets time powers, and then she
kills the bad guy, and then she kills the bad guy again, and then she goes back home, and there's a scene where now she's cool and can wear dresses because she's not traumatized by her daddy issues.
She's finally gotten over her daddy issues and can be the little girl he always wanted her to be.
Oh, God. And then the movie ends, and I don't want to ever think about this movie.
It's not great. Yeah, don't watch this movie.
I've got you under my skin.
And I just want to talk about.
I'm pretty sure when Tomb Raider ended, we just started singing that again because we were like, that was more interesting than anything in Tomb Raider.
There's not a single interesting moment in all of Tomb Raider.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
We put up.
Did
this come with your DVD?
I think so.
Okay, there's a little Double Dragon poster up there. Double Dragon. Double. Why do I keep saying that?
Double your dragon.
I'll read the back of the box. Double Dragon roars to life with amazing special effects. Spectacular action sequence. Oh, I can't read this in this lighting. And a knockabout sense of humor. It's the year 2007, and what remains of LA is now. What remains of LA is now New Los Angeles. What are you doing right now?
I'm looking.
Film version of Double Dragon. Yes, there we go. Now New Angeles. A city, not New Los Angeles, it's actually just New Angeles, which actually makes more sense. I feel like a lot of things are just like New York or New Los Angeles. Like, no, that's not. It would just
New Angeles.
Yeah, so the evil tycoon Koga Shuko, played by Robert Patrick of Terminator 2 fame, is obsessed with finding the two halves of a talisman known as the Double Dragon, which will give him awesome mystical powers. Two teenage brothers, Jimmy and Billy, find themselves in possession of the amulet's missing half, thrusting them into the adventure of their lives. With the help of Maria, played by Alyssa Milano, and her vigilante group.
I thought you were about to say in her ass.
Right, yeah. Jimmy and Billy must summon all of their courage.
Spoilers, her ass is more of a character in this movie than she is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's this is a 1994, but it's extremely 80s, but also extremely early 90s. It has like
it's in that perfect slot of 80s cheese and 90s cheese.
Lord. It grossed $2 million in its North American theatrical run, and in Europe, I don't even think it made. It like barely cracked $1 million.
It had its gross release was about $5 million.
Its worldwide gross was $4,152,000, and the budget was, I don't know, something a little higher than that.
$7 million.
So that's just sad. Like, this was easily the cheapest of them all.
It
And
wasn't
you could
even
tell
that
it was
hard.
cheap.
Yeah. It wasn't even that. It wouldn't have even been that hard to make its money back, and it couldn't even do that.
This is the most like retro game movie of the ones we watched. Cause like if Gamer is the COD era video game movie and Tomb Raider
is the PS1 going into PS2 era.
This is the
NES era.
NES era.
NES start of Super NES era.
Yeah.
Let's start with Robert Patrick doing his best Johnny Depp
as the villain.
Both in terms of look and how he acts.
Yeah. And I love that the villain's name is Koga Shuko, which is clearly not an American name. They casted a white actor, and then the movie has to like.
They have to bend over backwards.
At one point, the movie has to bend over backwards to explain why this guy's name is Koga Shuko, because they clearly just took a villain from the game and like made a completely different character with that name.
Which is funny because Billy and Jimmy called Billy and Jimmy.
Yeah, even though Billy and Jimmy are both played by people of color and have very like
really?
white.
I thought one of them was white. Maybe he just acted white.
No, okay, I think one of them was Asian and one of them was Hispanic, which I guess to 90s Hollywood is like close enough to the same thing.
Yeah. They're both
white-ish.
Not whites.
And then meanwhile, the character with the
was it Gamer that had the casual racism?
Oh yeah, Gamer had weird. Like,
not just casual racism, casual old-timey racism.
Yeah.
They called Asians the O word.
In like that was also within the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of that movie were very oh god, I'm being stimulated by all things.
And I don't think we ever heard the N word once, which is how you know there was only one gamer on this.
Ludacris said the N word with a soft N word. And then they kept using the word, they kept saying retard and gay, which was just like replicating 2009 gamers.
Yeah, to be fair, that was the gaming culture at the time.
Like, the first time
I'm not saying it was good, but that was very representative of the
first
gaming
time they
culture.
introduced Logan Lerman's character, isn't he literally in his like gamer room, like scrolling through stuff and going, gay, retarded and gay, which is painful.
And then Sticky Muffin,
there were minor characters with
Sex
just like ridiculous
To Catch a Predator. All call him up and want to simp for him.
And then of course Rick Rape is also a character name, which I don't really know anything about other than that I was just looking at the subtitles.
And yet his name is just Simon.
Yeah, right? Simon. Logan Lerman's character is too boring to have a gamer tag.
It's not XX_420XX.
This is the curse. This is the curse of this episode, is that we're just going to end up talking about Gamer again because these other two movies.
No, there's stuff to talk about in Double
Dragon definitely.
Like the stupidity of making Johnny Depp Patrick the main villain.
And also, so the amulet, right? He has one half of the Double Dragon amulet, and the power it gives him is this awful-looking visual effect that they keep using, where he like flattens into paper and like folds down into a shadow. He's Paper Mario.
It looks like a good PS1 effect or a really bad PS2 effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say it literally looks like Paper Mario for the N64. Like, if there was a warp feature and you could, like, warp to another location at any time and they had some visual effect of Mario, like, falling down and then disappearing. Like, that, I kept saying Paper Mario every time he would do this. So that he'd, like, mold into the ground and then be, like, a shadow and then, like, chase after people and do all this stuff.
So he's looking for the other half of the amulet. He can also, like,
possess other people sometimes. It's a whole...
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
So he's looking for the other half of the amulet, which happens to be around the neck of Billy and Jimmy's...
How did they even get those
sister?
I thought it was one of their girlfriends.
I don't know.
She dies in like the start of the second act.
Did she even have a name?
I'm sure she did, but we don't remember.
Anyway, she
was not.
It opens with them in a martial arts tournament, and like they lose because Billy is acting like an asshole?
I guess. I don't remember.
Or was it Jimmy?
I don't know. All I know is they go out for a drive later and they're like...
Then they run into some punks.
They run into some thugs led by a guy named Bo Abobo, which I must mention because Bo Abobo ends up being one of the most prominent and fear-inducing characters in this film.
Bo Abobo gets into Smash.
Oh my god. So they basically get ganged up on by this group of like Mad Max villains. If Mad Max was a Saturday morning cartoon,
you're so right.
And then these villains chase them in their Mad Max cars. And they have a car chase. Stuff happens.
And then Bo Bobo goes back to the main boss and is like, Bo
Bobo is like the definition of a mini boss character.
Yeah. Literally, he feels like he was like...
Even the fact that, okay, so he goes through this insane physical transformation where he becomes this, like, giant, like...
slug
I don't
man.
even know how to describe this, like, giant, like, mutant slug rock monster thing. I'll just put an image of him on screen. He's absolutely terrifying.
Very terrifying.
Okay, so when his name came up, I was like, really? Boa Bobo? You Googled him. And then you started laughing and saying fear, and I'm like, what?
And then
he's like, yeah, you wouldn't show me. And then later in the movie, Boa Bobo busts through a wall, like horrifying, and you're just like, remember when I mentioned the image of Boa Bobo, and we just both start screaming, fear, fear, fear.
Yeah, I think that's when they bust into the theater.
That's when they bust into the theater where the two main characters and the girlfriend/sister are hanging out with Alyssa Milano.
And her ass.
Yeah, her, like, crew.
There's, like, 5 shots of this movie that are just, like, snap zooms on her ass.
There are? I thought it was just the one where she was crawling in the vent.
No, there's another one earlier in the movie.
I guess. They're very, like...
This movie has very specific interests.
Yes. Also, I suppose you mentioning the theater is a good moment to mention the one good thing about this movie is the set design.
Yeah, the set design by...
I don't know if it's even on.
It was something Burke.
Yeah, we saw it in the credits, but
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this Wikipedia article's really bare bones, so I don't think...
Produced by, screenplay by, cinematography by, blah, 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 production company.
Yeah, this Wikipedia article's too bare bones.
Here, I'll look it up on IMDb.
But, the set design, you can tell...
That's the one redeeming thing about
You can tell it's really low budget, but they put together some really cool sets with basically what they could get. That was just my phone vibrating. They go to the abandoned theater. So the first cool set piece is they go to this abandoned theater where this group has that group has essentially built this
secret city or something.
Yeah, it's basically just, you can tell that it's like they went to a theater and were like paid whoever ran it
let them film there.
Film there for.
They didn't build any of the sets. They just used the sets that were there.
They just used the stuff this theater already had to make like a cool set. And then when Boa Bobo and Johnny Depp lookalike show up, they have this cool fight where they're running around in the rafters and climbing over all this crazy stuff. Was it like a Japanese movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But that scene is like, it clearly was done on no budget, but as a theater nerd, I was kind of like into the like.
And that had a cool. And that had a cool fight scene.
And then with the fight scene, they did some fun stuff with like moving around the set. And then
there we go, Maine Burke.
And then there's another scene where like, again, they meet up with Marion, Alyssa Milano's character, in her base, which is kind of looks like a Willy Wonka lab if it was more overtly a drug making commune.
I'm looking up the Maine Burke's discography, and they did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I did.
I think their most notable thing that people will know is The Princess Bride.
Princess Diaries.
The Princess Diaries.
Because I did the same thing last night. I almost said Princess Bride, and I was like, wait, no.
They did production design on Princess Diaries, which regardless of your opinions about that movie, it's got like nothing about that movie looks fake.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you can tell this movie was made on like a you can tell the set designer was given a shoestring budget. So it's impressive how cool they managed to make some of the sets look. How elaborate.
Sorry, keep going. I'm look. Oh, it's a short. Someone made a. They also worked on a short called Full Metal Racket.
Okay. Full Metal Alchemist, but it's tennis.
No,
that's what I'm thinking.
It's probably a spoof of Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. That makes more sense. What was the set designer?
Maine Burke.
Maine Burke, you did a good job.
Yeah.
The rest of this movie.
I don't even know if you built the sets, but you definitely had a good eye for sets.
The set designer doesn't usually physically go in and build the sets, but yeah.
You had a very good eye for sets.
Yeah, and the production design is really good. The rest of the movie is like.
The practical effects in the movie are pretty decent.
Well, that's what I like. Production design. I think that all falls under.
The choreography isn't God no.
The choreography feels like they started.
It feels like they didn't have.
Realized they needed a choreographer.
It doesn't. It feel like you said. It felt like they didn't have a choreographer for most of the scenes of the movie, and then they realized, oh crap, this is a movie based off of a video game about like martial artists. Maybe we should get someone who actually knows what they're doing here. But
we're not talking about the plot of the movie because it's not.
What plot?
Yeah, Tomb Raider has a much more straightforward plot. Even Gamer
too straightforward one.
Yeah. If anything, this movie's a little just because it's like.
It's like so after that scene, their girlfriend dies.
The theater gets burned down.
They have to like flee on a boat from Shaco and
I don't even Bobo. Yeah, I don't. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles though.
Yeah, God, this is TMNT if it was like made by the Power Ranger writers.
So. The brothers
then had half the budget.
The brothers mope about their dead girlfriend / sister. Oh, I've got to be able to figure it out in here. Wait. No. Hold up. Teenage brothers Billy and Jimmy Lee and their guardian / adoptive mother?
Bullshit!
She was like the same age as them.
Yeah! What the hell?
Well, okay, I'm actually going to go to like the cast listing for each of these actors and look at how old they are.
Scott Wolf. 1968.
He's 52, and he was already in his 30 or.
He would have been 20. He would have been like 24 or 26.
Mark Dacascos is 56, and now let's look and see how old. Do they even have her on here? There, Julia Nixon. Yeah, she's only like 6 years older than the actors who played the teen brothers. Like, no.
And she did not look older than them.
And their relationship was not adoptive mother guardian.
It was closer to like sister or like.
I thought she was one of their girlfriends. That is so weird.
This story was written by Paul Dini of Batman the Animated Series fame.
Yeah, I don't really know what he was doing.
I don't know. Oh my god. Dini, why?
I feel like he probably just like played Double Dragon in the 80s and was like, sure, we'll do a Double Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, so Paul Dini is definitely a gamer.
Yeah.
He thought they were making an actual Double Dragon movie.
My camera cut off, but we're just gonna. There's not that much more to say about this movie, is there?
Not really. So they show back up with Alyssa Milano.
Is this where we get the scene where Alyssa Milano crawls? No. That's when they go.
That's when they go to like.
Now you can see way more of all this shit up here.
You can see all of my
Double Dragon, 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 Double Dragon. Why are we doing this? This is incredibly cursed. Okay, we're gonna speedrun this shit. They go to Kogashuko's base.
There's a gratuitous shot
of Alyssa Milano's ass as she crawls into a vent to sneak into the base. The two brothers are like, who's gonna go in first? They follow her in. Her dad, who's a cop, is there, and he's the most unrealistic part of this movie. He won't accept the villain's bribe.
Even though he was already kind of portrayed as like corrupt.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're like kind of out of frame. I'm gonna move it. There we go. Kirk is a One Piece stand.
I'm a One Piece stand.
And so then the lady henchman of Johnny Depp notices them in the vents, and for some reason, instead of telling her boss, she tries to like poke them with a stick instead of just alerting her boss. Then they fall out of the vents. Then there's another fight scene where he goes all Paper Mario shit.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the Milano's base, and then he shows up, and then there's another fight scene, and then they use they get both halves of the double dragon, and they transform into their in-game video game outfits.
It looks
Which is a thing that video game movies love to do, where the character either gradually gets more with their video game outfit,
or they start out in it, and then they like have other outfits.
Or they have like a final transformation. That's their video game. So it's weird though, because you have these two halves of a thing that are clearly supposed to go together, but they never actually put the two halves of the dragon thing together, because they need one half for each brother. So it's like this weird. So then they defeat the bad guy. There is a weird subplot where Boa Bobo is here for some reason. He's like in a bathroom, and he's crying about his new monstrous form and looking at some picture of a hot girl, maybe his old girlfriend or something. I don't know. And then he comes out, and you think he's gonna make a heroic sacrifice or something.
But he just says turn on the lights.
He just kind of stands there cheering them on while they fight the villain.
Yeah.
They beat the villain, and then the last scene, or like one of the last scenes, is the gang's about to leave, and
not Kogashuko.
Boa Bobo, God, these names are fucking stupid, walks up, and he's like, "I'm good now, can I come with you guys?" And they're like, "Sure," and then they try to like, I don't even remember, ward him off by like being, "Oh, we're gonna make out," or whatever. Who cares?
Who knows?
For some reason, Boa Bobo continues to appear in this movie and has like a cursed story arc. That's the only notably weird and fear-inducing part of this movie.
Well, other than the fact that this movie exists.
Yeah.
This movie was like so bizarre.
What are we exorcising?
I don't even know. All of them.
Yeah, just like
all of them.
We're exorcising gamer.
We're exorcising gaming culture.
Gaming. Down with gamers. Burn the gamers.
Do not deserve rights.
Get your sword and we'll burn the gamers down. Burn it all down. Oh yeah, here's our alcohol.
Here's all of the alcohol.
I've got you.
Gamers! You have committed crimes against humanity. You have drinking the G Fuel. You have had your heated gamer moments, and you have cursed the world with your toxic nerd culture fandom.
And over-sexualization.
Of the women's. What do you have to say for yourself? How do you answer for the crimes of Gamer 2009 starring Logan Lerman and Gerard Butler, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and Double Dragon?
I've got you under my skin. I've got you.
Oh,